Okay, wait. Okay, whatever. I'm starting. Today, I guess technically yesterday, this is technically going to be a part 3 of the Faith in Humanity series season. Except that I'm not gonna be titling it anything close to the Faith of Humanity, because at this point it's like, I lost my faith in humanity, I regained my faith in humanity, and I guess like it got shattered again. I don't know, but essentially, if you probably didn't watch all the way the first Faith of Humanity video where I say I lose it. It boils down to me being isolated from my assigned group, basically. Everything but explicitly assigned group by someone who was not a part of my group. And apparently, my new information that I got yesterday really confused me even more. So, part 1, I was separated from my initial the quote-unquote assigned group. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, that happens, I'm used to it. And then the second class, 99%, probably like 99% of the people returned to their original groups, meaning that the group I was isolated from, they were still that same group, and I went to the group the second group I joined, I guess. And then, so then that happened. So I think, okay, fine. As long as I stay within my group of people, then like the group of people I was in, I should be fine. I shouldn't have any instance where I get isolated. However, for some reason, okay, so for next class, so this is now the third time this class is meeting, I sit next to the people that I was the unassigned group thing, and I leave the person that joined the other. I should give them a name. I would call them Red, because I think they have like a red shirt at some point. So Red is the person that that joined the group before I could get the chance to say a word, and then I was left alone. So Red originally was part of I have to start naming these things now, I guess. So I'm gonna call my original group of 4 people Group 1, and then the second group of 4 people is Group 2. Red was first in Group 2, and I was in Group 1. Red leaves Group 2, enters Group 1, and then everyone in Group 1 but me gets along, and so I fade into obscurity, and then eventually I find Group 2, and I join that. So, the third class comes in, Group 1, except Red, is already there, and I know what will happen if I sit next to Group 1. I'm just gonna not be able to participate. So I sit with Group 2. Group 2 is the same group of people, except that I guess a lot of introverts, and so the group assignment there is not explicitly, doesn't have to be all done in the groups, because there's enough materials to go around that some people can work individually, and I guess that's what happens. Someone who wasn't in Group 1 or Group 2 originally, I guess I'll call them Yellow. Yellow sits with Group 1, and I guess they were originally part of the friend group, but we've never seen them. Meaning you and me. We've never seen them until today. And so what that means is that Red now has to sit somewhere else, because all seating options with group 1 are taken, and all seating options with group 2 are also taken. The tables of the room are slightly bigger than 4 people on each side, so technically each table can fit 10 people. And this matters because now red sits just outside group 2, and then when it comes to working as a team, red poaches, quote unquote, someone from group 2, and then the other people from group 2 work together. So group 2 is 4 people, me included, and 3 other people. One of the people is poached by red, and then the other 2 people work together because they were sitting right next to each other, and I guess, they're just more sociable than I am. I let people get words in before I can, and then they already have all the necessary input of that conversation readied, and so what I say is too late, or just re-establishing what was already said. And so that is a me problem that I kind of want to fix, but then again, it's like the consequence of me trying to fix it is that I sound sillier, because what I say is the culmination of like 10 seconds worth of thinking versus an initial thought. And what I realize, and it's very contradictory of what I want to do, is I guess there is a diminishing return. So if someone asks me a question and I say what I'm thinking on the spot, I'm probably gonna have a 90% fluency, like a 90% fluency of what I'm trying to say. And what that means is I'm gonna have to wait. Freaking out. I'm gonna have a 90% fluency of whatever I say, which is fine. Probably close to like 95, whatever. But then if I take some time to think about what I'm going to say, I end up saying whatever I'm saying in a more efficient manner. So if I take my initial response time of 0, I might stutter at the beginning and then work out a proper middle and ending. Whereas if I wait like 10 seconds, I'm not going to stutter, but I'm also going to be waiting 10 seconds to answer. Whereas if I have like 1 minute to think about what I'm going to say. So for an example of this, there are like a class presentation, except more like a group discussion where group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are taking turns like coming up with an answer, and I'm like group 4. I have the time it takes group 1, 2, and 3 to finish talking to decide what I'm going to say. And in that time, I don't have every nuanced word and how I'm going to pronounce it ready. And so I'm just stuck there stuttering, trying to properly pronounce the word, getting the words in the correct order, and also meaningfully articulate my sentence so that others can understand it. And so the more I try to balance those 3 things, the more I'm likely to stutter, which means I have to take a step back and rephrase what I'm saying. And then when I realize that I'm rephrasing something, it might not have been grammatically accurate to the beginning of my sentence since I started stuttering, so I have to restart the entire sentence, if that makes sense. which is why the point of this, like the point of me talking, is just to be able to communicate my words properly. What I've come to realize is I'm not good at thinking on the spot, or rather, I can just think about what I'm going to say at some points. But the more time I take to think about something to talk about, the longer it is for me to say what I'm talking about. And the moment I think about a key point I'm trying to say, then it really becomes a point of I don't know what the exact word I'm looking for is. And that happens a lot. And I'm trying to avoid it saying or to make that point. To just speak in a way where pauses are important, but then also not too common. Okay, I think that makes sense. What else? Apparently the Pokemon anime is ending soon, like 10 weeks, which is about the time of year where it starts. And apparently also there was a leak. I was just told what one of the leaks were, and I hope they're not right, because I think it's best to just leave things as they were or as they are. If someone doesn't know what the leaks are, then no, I'm not going to say. I also think I need to talk better. Obviously, I need to talk better. But I'm also more pleased that I'm able to talk louder this time compared to some other periods. I really think I don't want to say I'm getting unlucky, because obviously I'm just bad. But I think I have a strong idea, and then it's not executed well, and it's whack. Or I have a strong execution of whatever I'm trying to do, but yet there's no idea, so it's not gonna do well. So I'm either executing well or under delivering. So, and like how well an execution isn't necessarily always in control, because I'm trying to do this stuff without someone finding out. I doubt someone is ever going to get recommended one of these videos, but then again, people have been clicking on my videos occasionally. Unfortunately, if I tab out, does it stop the video ping 13:30? And then I'm just gonna look at my content, for example, and then come back here, 13:35. It doesn't stop playing. But just like looking at my content, like 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 4, 10, 1, 2, 17, 2, 18, 2, 33, 2, 2, 12, 35, 11, 17, 6, 6, 3, 2, 0. I skipped a couple of zeros there also. But it's not an insignificant amount of. It's not like no one is ever watching these videos, and I'm happy that someone is at least taking the 10 seconds to sit through my voice and deciding I'm not gonna watch that video. Unfortunately, like the strongest video I ever made was a Dokkan Battle video about a team building, about using a certain team. And obviously what people just do is they don't want to sit around watching an unfamiliar face play a video game that they're familiar with. So what they do is just watch the video. Okay, they beat the game with they beat the level with this team. Do I have that? And then they decide, do they even have those units? Or maybe they saw the clear time and they saw that they shared the units I had, and then And then they decided, okay, I'm going to watch this and see all the plays they make and how like RNG based the run was, which was pretty lucky. Like Beast Gohan needed to attack 5 times to get his 80% damage reduction by turn 5. One of the turns, it was adult Gohan didn't attack immediately, so Gohan didn't have a guaranteed additional super, but luckily Gohan additional super anyway, and that got him to 5 hits, so 5 attacks for his extra damage reduction. So I'm about like halfway through this recording and I'm feeling pretty fine. I do notice that at the end of the day, or like after like recording these, my throat does feel dry. It's probably a sign I'm not drinking enough water. Speaking of water, apparently water tastes better when you're dehydrated. Supposedly, I just think water just tastes good in general. But I can see why the brain will say this liquid tastes better when I need the liquid in question. That just makes sense. Also, at any point, I may be unable to finish the recording, in which case I'm sorry. But, I guess I haven't formally said this in any of my videos, but I have left it in the descriptions of some, which is subscribe and like. That's weird to say, I'm not used to like asking people that. But yeah, how is this one copyrighted? Oh, I think because you used the song. I've been like, I guess it's cool to see that. And it's all just AI stuff and random people. Oh, I'm sorry, Pansy. It's all just random AI stuff and jargon. I am getting better when it comes to drawing. I am still not very good. Sorry for the truck. It actually was a school bus. It is something I am strongly getting better at. I am making slower progress than if I just use a model of the... Okay, I really don't like the spike because it goes as fast as an aqua bike, but it has the properties of the Mach bike. And so it has a slow startup, and then you're going as fast as the aqua bike goes, but you're going as fast as the aqua bike. You're going as fast as the Mach. No, it is the aqua bike. You're going as fast as the aqua bike goes, but you're under the guise of a Mach bike. So even though you only moved one tile, you are still stuck in the slowdown animation you would normally get if you were on the normal Mach bike, which I don't like because it makes me look like a fool, because the game inputs your left and right movements as forward movements when you get stuck on a wall. And so you're just like, okay, so I'm going forward, even though this is a blank, a solid wall I can't even do anything about. I just feel like, can't I go up like ledges with the aqua bike, or is that only some certain parts of the... No, it is. I'm very close to coughing, so I'm gonna pause for a moment and cough. Okay, I coughed. I think I really needed it. I think it's a sign I need more water. Speaking of water, as in Aqua, as in Oshinoko, a lot of commotion about the newest Oshinoko episode that aired today, and as at the time of the video dropping, it is... I read ahead in the manga, many years ago, and I knew this episode was coming. I don't remember every single detail of. I didn't remember every single detail of what happens, but I do remember the key points, and I am happy that they didn't go way too far with the scene, because they could have like added more parts in the manga. But I'm really happy with how they adapted the scene. I'm not going to spoil what that scene is for people who haven't watched. I wonder if at some point someone's going to rewatch through all the Pokemon Too Many Typings. Have I said what Pokemon game I wanted to play after this? I don't think so. But I think there was one other thing. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Legends has been experiencing one of the longest maintenances in a while, and good for them. I hope they give us like a free rotation because of it. I wouldn't mind posting like a short of the of a step, because 2K Z Power with 1% rates for one of the steps and then a free step too is very good value. I'm pretty sure that Legends is going to be doing just fine. Dokkan is very close to getting its one of the best units in the game. Best 2 units in the game with UI Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Goku. It's gonna be like kind of like the 7th anniversary, except that the guys are stronger. Is DBS Brody stronger than UI Goku? I think that's crazy to think about, but he probably is. Like Super Saiyan Gogeta was like God. Like was it 4 power Super Saiyan? I think it was 4 power Super Saiyan Brody at this point was punched Gogeta gave him a good gut punch, and then Gogeta said okay, screw that, and then he instantly became blue and turned the tides immediately. Given how strong Super Saiyan Gogeta is definitely stronger than UI Goku. I'm pretty sure, or else he would have just done that. Like, there's no way Goku anticipates 4 power Super Saiyan Brody and doesn't just straight up go UI. Because unless he can't control it, which might be the case. However, he could have done it anyway. I feel like the first 15 minutes of the session, of this recording, felt shorter than the last 2 minutes of me talking. But I guess that's just how it is, because I was more concentrated in the faith in humanity thing. But, oh well. What else is there to say? Can't really think about something. I don't know. There's like 5 minutes left. I think I can cut it here. It's not like anyone's gonna be watching it until the very end. I am happy that people still click on these videos though. I'm happy with my upload time. I need to get better at bulk recording for the week, but I have to find a day to do that. But for the moment, it's all working fine. I've been daily uploading since January 1st, which is a pretty long time, almost like about a month and a half at this point. I am very interested to see how things go. I wonder if my voice will change, or at least get more developed, because I think my part of my impediment when it comes to speaking is because I don't speak every day, even for like 10 minutes. I would go days, and like during the pandemic, I would go days with just not speaking a single word. Maybe like a hi, hello, good morning to my family, a yes or a no every now and then. But like to have like a conversation with people, to be just like excited, verbally excited towards something, that was not common for me. But I guess with this, I'm given like at least 10 minutes a day of talking, which is more than what I could do in the pandemic. So I'm happy for that. So yeah, like and subscribe, and see y'all.